Peace, God, science. What's up? Gonna see if some more people gonna trickle in. Gonna have an old throwback live from the kitchen sink. See if we get a couple more people. If not, we'll keep it moving. Just gonna give them a minute. I rarely get on here, so I know people might not even know. Yo, what's up, G? Hope all is well. We're gonna see if we got four, three. Trying to see if we get five people. If we get five, we'll give it about a few seconds, a couple of minutes, and if they we get a couple more. Okay, we got four. Let's see if we get one more person. Is there one more who wants to hear this word? All right. Let's see if we got one more coming in. Peace. Doing well. How you doing? What's up, Erica? Wondering Wendy, digital music art, God science. All right, we got a couple. That's enough. Let's start talking. Now, I'm gonna preface the little bit I'm going. Oh, we got five now. All right, I'm gonna preface the this little chat by saying this. And I've said this before, but I'm gonna reiterate it. I have nothing fly or exotic to give. Okay, nothing that's gonna be like, oh man, that was you know the no no amazing language, no amazing title or topic. That's just the quantification of numerological feces. Nothing like that. Real simple. Because I think if there ever was a time where simple is the order of the day, then it is now. Okay? So I want to talk about what is spirituality, but it's probably not going to be, you know, it ain't going to be fly. Something simple. We're just going to deal with what I know a lot of you all seasoned veterans already know, but I'm just going to say it anyway. The word spirit means breath. It means breath, okay? And whenever we put the suffix ality, spiritual, so spiritual means to be of the nature of spirit, okay? Which is of the nature of breath. And ality means being of the nature of breath. Okay. Now, we can connotatively associate more exotic things to represent what spirituality is. But in the essence of what the word means, it means breath. All right. So the importance of bringing that up is that unfortunately, the way the word has been taken, it has been turned into something like it has taken a religious turn to it as to denote a group that separates one from the other. As in, I'm spiritual. I'm on my spiritual journey. Look at some of these catchphrases now. I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm on my spiritual path. I'm doing my spiritual work. But if you take the word at its pure meaning, when you're breathing, if you are still animated, it is automatically spiritual. I see that don't sound fly, but it's the fucking truth. It is what it is. What it is. To be breathing, to be animated. Animated is another word associated with um, spirit. Spirit, i.e., anima. They both tie back to mean breath. Okay. Now, it's interesting that the word anima is the root of animal. So, animal from anima still ties back to breath. Animation, having life in it. Okay. Now, many times in spirituality, we talk about, controlling the animal nature. In essence, then, we're talking about controlling the breath or the quality of the breath. And that is not just the quality of inhalation, exhalation, but the quality of everything that comes from the continued recycling of breath. Meaning the fact that we can means it is triggering a whole series of other things that may seem completely disconnected from, but they are related to the fact that we literally can breathe. So, because I'm animated or full of breath, I have so called life. Controlling my animal nature connotatively is saying I'm controlling the aspect of me that will do anything with my breath. Meaning I have no I have no governor. I have no meter. I have no self-monitoring of my own breath. Why is this important? Why is this whole conversation to me important? Because the misconception that to be spiritual means it's got to be this as separate from your everyday life is why people sometimes get disillusioned on this so-called journey. I be watching social media like everybody else, and I look at characters. I look at characters who doing all these different things, and it's under the banner of it's their spiritual journey, you know. Um, and then if you watch long enough, you see where reality kicks in. You know, the reality kicks in of, damn, I ain't got nowhere to stay, or, and I'm not saying this to judge. I'm not saying this to judge. I'm talking about to support what the point I'm trying to make. In other words, all these things, these other things are spiritual, but basic common sense shit ain't spiritual. And that's where the problem is. Telling you, that is where the problem has occurred. This is what has happened. This is what has happened. Spirituality and all the other things that we associate with it, New Age, occultism, esotericism, all the other things, overall, not talking about individual people, but overall, the whole movement type thing ain't nothing but the motherfucking church 2.0. It's just the church. It's the church. It's the church. It's the church. And when I say the church, I just don't mean the circle of energy that church means or the coven. I'm talking about it's the church as in the Christian church, which is the main reason why most or some people always got to come back to talk about the church because that's their number one competitor. Peace, natural market. The church is their number one competitor because they both run the same game. Check it out. I'm gonna show you. The church, until the prosperity gospel came in, the church focused more on selling you on the hereafter. You know, you better get right with God, and he's coming back for his kingdom and all this. And it was very, because I grew up listening to this. It was what they call fire and brimstone preaching. You better get right because the day of the trumpet's gonna blow and this and this and that. Okay. But if you think about it, if the spirituality that we are following right now constantly puts down physical life and says it is lesser, and that you're supposed to, this is, it's not even real, and you need to be focusing on um um you know your spiritual journey out of here and trying to get out of here and such and such. That's the same fucking thing the church was doing. They were in communities in the 80s where we're being ravished by crack, because this is when crack cocaine comes out in the 80s, sitting right down the street from where somebody is pumping dope and they're selling people on the hereafter. Churches after churches on every other corner in the neighborhood. The reason why people getting all this property cheap now goes all the way back to the 80s with the crack epidemic. They created run-down areas that are now being gentrified. And now you got BMWs and you got Mercedes and you got Range Rovers driving down the street in these neighborhoods that were systematically set up to be run down so that the property could be cheap. And you had churches sitting all around here telling you about going to heaven. And now you got motherfuckers around here talking about their spiritual, and everything's about somewhere else, just like the church. Which is why I wanted to just simplify it and just let's just not forget that spirit means breath. That means spirituality deals with every motherfucking aspect of your existence. It includes what people are talking about that is beyond, but it also includes your right now. And when right now catches up with you, it will affect your ability to be even contemplating that which is unseen. Because right now is immediate. And I don't see no motherfuckers going around here talking about I don't need to eat. I don't need nowhere to stay. I don't need this nice car. I'm too spiritual for that. Bullshit. So let's cut the bullshit. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. People ain't changed from the church mentality. Still looking for a Messiah. I swear, it's some amazing shit. Still looking for a Messiah. And then if you're the person who don't jump on the bandwagon, you're a hater. But So you got you got people being exposed for flim flamming people who slid in through the whole spiritual thing. They slid in through being spiritual and then started selling you on something where you could get rich because the reality is, motherfuckers still got to eat. So you all wrapped up into my higher self and this and that, but you know you still got to pay rent, mortgage, car note, and so then this slick bastards come in and sell you something about how you can this how you gonna you gonna hit this lick and such, and because you're so spiritual, you've lost all your fucking common sense. You know money don't come easy. You know you can't go from today I got $3 in my account and in 2 months I'm gonna be six figures. You know life don't work like that, but you so fucking spiritual. Got to do the double quotes. Spiritual, you done lost all your fucking common sense. You done told your mama she's stupid. You done told your uncles, you don't know, this is how we gonna get our people back. This is Black Wall Street. This is all these motherfuckers scamming people because you stupid. You become so spiritual that you become an idiot because there's no separation of nothing. I'm tired of seeing motherfuckers walk around lonely and try to sell me on the idea that that's the way. Like that. And I'm not saying that not having relationship makes the person any lesser. Hell, my grandma, I never knew her to have a man in my life, but she had him before I was born. And I wouldn't say my grandmother was any less. Both of my grandmothers. But what I'm saying is, this is what's going on. Whatever is my situation, whatever I can't deal with, or is a wound I have not figured out how to heal, if I'm not careful, my ego can turn that into a religion. Then I can start selling people on my reality. So if you're not in something, whatever, cool, that's you. But don't get on here telling I seen somebody, an astrologer, she's like, oh, with everything going retrograde, I'm so happy I'm not in a relationship. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. I'm looking at you. You had a half head full of hair. You done shaved your fucking head. You don't know which way you going. So this one, look, listen. What I'm trying to say is, motherfuckers are selling dysfunction now. It's not functional for humans to not know how to relate to each other. It's not functional. That's motherfucking AI. To not be able, you go in the store, motherfuckers can't speak, can't talk, looking at you, stupid motherfuckers. And these kids ain't been taught by their parents. They ain't been taught how to relate to other humans. Relationship is Venus. Venus comes from the Ankh. All these Ankhs motherfuckers be wearing, that's the symbol of connection. But motherfuckers can't even talk. It's some amazing shit. It's some amazing shit. And you sit back and watch all this spiritual until life catch up. Until life catch up. And then we have to deal with it. I don't went on a rant and I'm kind of lost my train of thought. But it's I'm trying to say in a nutshell is this. I'm trying to say, ain't nothing separate. To me, that's that's 101. Everything is everything. Now, here's the other thing. Because of this misconception about what spirituality is and the disconnect, the intended disconnect of it from your everyday life, you now can fall prey to following someone else's dysfunction based on how they were raised. That's right. Somebody else's dysfunction. For example, let's just say, imagine I'm teaching about sex magic, okay? But I was molested as a child, which means my innocence was taken. If my innocence was taken, which is there's nothing cool about that. That's there's nothing exalted about that. But let's say that's the reality. And 'cause let's just look. As a man, there's a difference being with a woman who's been sexually abused. There's a difference. And I mean, um, it is at the time it can be very fun, you know. But you talking about is you a young man and you're not thinking, but you get old and start analyzing things. You're like, damn, for somebody, how somebody get to this point? How do you know such and such and such? And how would you know all that at that time? And da, 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 da. And then you go back and like, dang, somebody must have done something to, you know, or if you ever with a woman who, like, some women don't want you to kiss them, they want you to be rough with them all the time, you know, and a lot of that comes from they've been abused. This ain't no rocket science, okay? So if this man or woman then begins to teach from the the encroachment on their child, like the child innocence, then man, we got we got some serious trauma that is being passed on. And it is no different from, like, in a family when they say, what they say about family traumas being passed along and cycles going on in families and such and such. We all know about that. And we all got experiences in families where we're trying to break certain cycles. Well, the same goes on in society, that unhealed wounds and things that have gone on in a person's life, if there's a space to cover it over with ego expression, to try to numb the fact that this happened and it shouldn't have, then we got a problem. It becomes a religion. It becomes a religion. And that's what we got a lot of going on right now. Dysfunction has become a religion, all under the guise of spirituality. Under the guise of spirituality. And we're worried about AI, at least some people are, and not knowing that it's a mirror that's reflecting the nature that has been developing in the human, especially since 1900. 1900 was the turn of the 20th century was pivotal. It's pivotal. That's when we had a lot of the things, technologies emerge that could deal with illusion. The radio emerges, it deals with illusion because it could invite your senses um, to imagine. And then the TV comes and it takes it to a whole nother um, level of illusion. But even before the TV, we had the film industry. Now, what happened leading up to this is in 1891, there was a conjunction. It was either 91 or 81. I want to say it was 91. We had a conjunction between the planet that rules the underworld, Pluto, and the planet that rules television and illusion, Neptune. So that's why you had all this the Western occult revival that took place in the late 1800s. It had a lot to do with that conjunction that occurred because that is occult energy on steroids when you put Neptune and Pluto together. And with that conjunction comes all of this. It's almost like a portal opened up. And so then we start creating all these different technologies that are able to invite different levels and forms of breath, i.e., spirit, into this reality to imbue the people and to zombify them. And so this thing where we to now is really not our fault. We're not placing blame because this has been calculated. So even when people think they're deep, there still can be playing out a program, a program to become nihilistic, a program to just say, fuck it, I'll do anything. Nothing matters. And this program where my identity is so important. I've got to constantly feed you this image that I want you to see, and I must give you the perception that I want you to have. That's artificial intelligence. Artifice, the fis part of official means face, and arta is to make a face, artificial. So the ego, if it's just the pure ego as a mask, and not the ego that also is imbued by the seed intelligence within, if it's just a mask, it's artificial intelligence. And we use social media to promote artificial intelligence. This image I want you to see of me. I'm spiritual. You know, you need, how does a relationship work? How how do I really tackle my fears? Because I'm telling you, I work with people who a lot of intelligent people and some who would be, you know, spiritually inclined. But when you're really talking to people, they're trying to figure out day to day shit. They're trying to figure that out because it's easy to steal away to go sit in the woods somewhere or isolate yourself. And then I'm going to do all this, meditate for 3 hours and I'm only going to drink water and gaze at the sun and all these beautiful things. But what about the people who currently are in the hustle and bustle of everyday? What about them? Who who may feel lesser than because they don't have the image of some person they see who just looks, this person look deep. Damn, look at all that shit they got on. Look how they talking. Look how they flow and dang, they deep. And you looking at your little minuscule life like, man, I ain't on their level. I'm like, dang, this person can talk forever and she know all this and this and that. And you thinking, but who knows? This motherfucker might be behind the camera, might have 3 children over here who ain't 8, giving them Doritos and soda to shut up. I'm trying to do my life. And you looking at this motherfucker thinking you lesser. Or you got some dude, who is a vagabond up and down the road trying to hustle this and hustle that, and they can't show up at a PTA meeting. They can't show up at such and such because they got to make sure they keep feeding you this image. So maybe the next time they run a play, you're going to be ready to spend some money. But you think this motherfucker's more spiritual than you. When you're the one who's actually the special one because you're doing the real work. The real work does not involve being able to go and run away from life so you can be spiritual. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. And that's why people be getting ripped off because they think lesser of themselves because they don't look or sound like some con artist that's on the internet. And I'm amazed at how many people got so much street smarts and can't spot a hustler. I'm amazed how many people come from the streets and can't spot a con artist. Some amazing shit. Because I can spot them. But I tell you what, I've learned to keep my mouth shut because you become the perpetual hater. Oh, here he go. You know, you know. Look, man, this thing is about figuring out how to work with yourself. That's what this thing is about. Figuring out how to whatever your situation is. And I want to be clear about my earlier statements. I'm not saying that you ain't shit if you're not in a relationship, because you gotta clarify shit. What I'm saying is that it does not make you special because you're not involved with somebody. And it does not make me special because I am. What makes me special is working with the shit that I'm in. What makes you special is the desire and ability to work with whatever situation you're in. That is working with spirit. That is the cultivation of breath. And it all ties into astrology. Breath comes in Gemini, and that breath is cultivated through Virgo, Mercury, Gemini, the lungs, details, details. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, I want to know that. I want to know that. Gemini. And then Virgo comes in. No, we need to such and such. We're going to sift through this first. We're going to organize. So your life always has this component of Virgo square and Gemini. It is the cultivation of breath. And all these things happen in the personal space of the zodiac, where it's me becoming as my own. Before I share with the world, it's me developing. That's spiritual. And that involves things that don't seem exotic. We know the unknown through the known. Spirit is dancing because dancing denotes rhythm. What is spirituality? It's a dance because that's a dance. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. We function on a rhythm. It's a dance. So I cannot negate either side of the the tonation or the rhythm. If there's a one, there's got to be a two. If there's a side of the tree of life that's severe, there must be a side of mercy, and vice versa. Everything down here is about trying to seek balance in this dualistic reality, trying to find yourself in the midst of breathing in all aspects that can be experienced by having access to breath. That's spirituality. And it's simple. Simple. You know, and some of this I'm taught like this because I'm older, you know, I'm approaching 50, you know, and sometimes you just sit and look at your children and be like, damn, I created them. And you look at them and see certain tendencies and shit get on your nerves but you'd be like, damn, that get on my nerves, but that's me. And I'm seeing how I do that. Oh shit. Me's being reflected back to me. Now that is what we would call an aspect of you need to do your shadow work. You want to do some fucking shadow work? Have some goddamn children. You don't have to go off in a fucking graveyard or no, have some children if you want to do some shadow work. Try to have a relationship that lasts more than fucking 5 minutes. You'll do some motherfucking shadow work. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? All the shit that everybody is telling you is exotic, it's all here available in everyday life. That asshole at work that that if you would swing one time, you could knock them through three walls. And the fact that you have to think about it and control the anima, the breath in you is goddamn spiritual work because your chart may show you that you're a natural warrior and it's in your nature to knock a motherfucker through a wall, you're thinking about something greater. Or your nature may be to let somebody walk all over you and you finally stand up for yourself. That's spiritual work because you're working with your breath. But this is why motherfuckers can't tell you shit like this because a lot of motherfuckers have never learned how to live. Their whole life has been based on taking advantage of somebody. They don't know how to have to suffer to get ahead. And when you're doing things by whatever you think is your righteous code, you're going to suffer, goddammit. You're going to suffer. And they ain't willing to do that. They don't believe in the shit they teach. They don't believe in reciprocity. Motherfuckers will do anything for money. During COVID, motherfuckers was trying to run all types of scams and scandals on people. During a pandemic. Some amazing shit. all under the banner of being spiritual. Some amazing shit. And when you tell a motherfucker the truth, they don't want to hear it. They get mad. So in a sense, I guess everybody gets what they're supposed to get in the end. Because that's part of the test, I guess, is to is to have self-realization. The great teacher, C. Freeman, he said three things: self-knowledge, self-identity, and self-revelation. Self-knowledge, self-identity, and self-revelation. That's spirituality. Simple. Simple. I'm looking for simple this point in my life. I'm not looking for exotic because because the exotic shit, look, man, I gotta be able to make this shit apply in real time. Real time, you know? And my ability to do that, I gotta also trust that if we are eternal and that energy can never be created, can neither be created nor destroyed, then I don't have to get it all in this lifetime. And whatever I get, this is from the standpoint as a person with children. Whatever I get and whatever seeds I plant from what I get, one of them at least is gonna run with it. At least. I got four of them. At least one, at least, gonna run with it. And as that one runs, I'm running through that one. But I think it's gonna be more than one. So whatever I don't get, it's all good. But the quality of the leg I run though will influence the leg they're able to run. It's all the continuation of the breath. I created them through breath. Semen is associated with spirit. It's breath. When the man ejaculates, he releases the breath of life into the earth, which is his counterpart. On that note, gonna shut it down. I got some work to do. Hey, look, it's retrograde season. Take advantage of it. You want to do something spiritual? Go back and get things in order as much as you can. You know, um, go over things, get things in order, revisit projects you've been working on. You know, um, I think natural market. I saw something. I think you about to relaunch something during the retrograde. That's something that you do in the retrograde. You don't start something new, but you relaunch something that you are already working on because that's what retrograde. Go again, go over things. You know, I appreciate it, good brother. Dap. Um, Yeah, natural market. Yeah, this is a good time doing retrograde. If it's something that you've already, which if it's already part of your brand, which I'm assuming it is, then retrograde season can be a good time to carefully um um approach that and set things in order. So on that note, y'all stay down till you get up. When you get up, stay down. If you need to holler at me and figure out what's going on in your world, 720astrology.com. Peace.